Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies video. So today we have a second giant monster Elder God Easter egg on Die Maschine. Obviously on round 40 plus when you enter the Dark Aether, a giant Elder God will spawn in the forest in the distance by the pond. When it spawns in you will hear it growl and also your screen will start shaking as it stomps and tears down the trees in its path. And obviously there is another giant monster Easter egg on the map which allows you to get a free legendary weapon to do with this giant hand. And I have already posted a video on both of these before, but we have another Easter egg. Before we continue with this video has been kindly sponsored by Displate. Displate make pristine handcrafted metal posters designed by talented artists with easy magnet mounting. The quality and attention to detail is top notch and you won't be disappointed. You can find plates on the site for pretty much any genre or any specific thing you desire. For example, maybe you want an awesome Call of Duty themed plate. On screen right now you can see a bunch that are available on the site. You can use the search bar to look up anything that you are interested in, so hopefully you can find one that best suits you. What's more is that Displate plants one tree for every purchase, so not only do you get some awesome memorabilia, but you are also helping the world. If this sounds awesome to you, which I'm sure it does, you can check them out via the link in this video's description. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's continue on with the regular video. So, bringing it back to the topic of this video, as you guys know, ever since launch, people have been getting a free max ammo power-up to somehow spawn in the pond on Die Maschine. This max ammo never despawns and floats above the pond indefinitely for the rest of the game. You can collect it whenever you want, but up until recently, no one knew exactly how they got this power up to spawn in. They never knew how they completed this Easter egg. In fact, still to this date, people don't know exactly how this spawns in. Recently, Glitching Queen posted a video in which she claims that you simply need to enter the Dark Aether and head underground. And at a random round, it could be a low round, it could be a high round, exactly 115 seconds after staying underground in the Dark Aether, the ground/roof will start shaking as you hear an Elder God monster stomping and groaning above the ground. You then have to wait underground until the creature is done roaming and roaring above, and if you head to the pond, the max ammo will be waiting for you to collect whenever you wish. If you go up too early, you won't be granted the free max ammo. I guess the Elder God doesn't want to be seen helping us, maybe out of fear of being hunted by other Elder Gods or other beings in the Dark Aether if they knew that they were helping us. Recently, people have been claiming that this is the exact method for this Easter egg and that it's been fully solved, and that it's completely random. However, I disagree. I highly doubt a side Easter egg to obtain a free power-up would require you to do something so obscure with a completely random chance of getting the reward on any round. That doesn't make any sense. No one would even bother trying to do this Easter egg if it was the case. You could just get it on any round. It doesn't make any sense. Especially when it's just a max ammo and they're not even that important in this game since you can buy ammo now. And the wonder weapon has unlimited ammo. In Glitching Queen's video, she explained how this is a new solve, so over the coming days/weeks, we'll probably learn more about this Easter egg and figure out exactly what is going on. But other people have been making videos about this claiming that it's fully solved, when it clearly isn't. I do agree that entering the Dark Aether and heading underground, staying there for 115 seconds, then not going above ground is how you get the max ammo to spawn in, but I feel like there's an additional step or steps that we are missing, that somehow people are accidentally doing when trying to do this Easter egg. They're accidentally doing something and they don't know what that is, which is leading people to think that it's completely random, when in actuality, they probably are doing something, they just don't know exactly what. It could be something really stupid, like getting a certain amount of kills within the Dark Aether, or entering the Dark Aether a certain amount of times, or staying in a certain place for a certain duration. I don't know, it's probably something really obscure, and something that we're probably overlooking. It's probably something pretty simple. By the way, this Easter egg has nothing to do with the reward machine in the barrier that can be seen in the weapons lab. People have been getting various different visual glitches to do with it, leading them to think that this is part of an Easter egg, but in all honesty, I don't think this is part of an Easter egg because there's absolutely nothing in the files of the game regarding it. I'm pretty sure maybe it was for a cut Easter egg or a new Easter egg that could potentially be added to the map in the future. Now I want to talk about the storyline of this giant monster. If the monster is helping us out by rewarding us with a max ammo power-up, could the Elder Gods in fact be the announcer slash controller of the zombies?
Fetch me their souls. Bye-bye. Insta-kill.
Or just the announcer. Maybe there is no controller of the zombies anymore. After all, in the files of the game, it's referred to as a summoner zombie, and it's summoning a power-up for us. Also, the Elder God Hand rewards us with a free legendary weapon upgrade, so it is helping us once again. The announcer is not Nikolai. So many people have been saying this. Nikolai is dead. Ultimus and Primus will never return. I'm sorry. The voice actor, I believe, is the same actor who played Bruno in Black Ops 4, though. I don't know why these creatures would be trying to help us though. I'm sure we're going to see them as a boss fight in future DLC. Now we have received some new intel with Season 1 from the Dark Aether that reads, Day 4100. The stranger has learned of a powerful overlord. Found one of the big ones dead today. Had the impression they left each other alone, but it was clear from wounds that they fight amongst themselves. There is talk here that one of the overlords is hunting the rest. Sounded like crazy talk, especially because some now worship these giants, but I have seen enough to believe it. If one of the giants is imposing its will on the rest, I shudder to think what new order may emerge. Here we learn that the lost souls trapped within the Dark Aether have started to pray to the Elder Gods. They are referred to as both Elder Gods and Overlords by the people trapped within the Dark Aether. It should be noted that they are not actually gods and are simply referred to as gods by these people driven insane by the Dark Aether and Ethereum over time. I mean, after all, if you were sent into here for an eternity, you would start to go absolutely crazy without even having the effects of Ethereum. There is a hierarchy that exists in the Dark Aether, factions if you will, as different armies seem to be forming, with the people slash zombies being the lowest of the ranks. Near the top we have the Elder Gods slash Overlords that seem to even have different factions amongst themselves and fight for power amongst each other. It is worth noting that the Elder God that we see on Die Maschine is likely only one variant. The Elder Gods slash Overlords aren't an encompassing title or race, but rather just the name referred to the beast within the Dark Aether, the top of the food chain. We do see this calling card that shows another beast in a forest. Maybe we could see this on the DLC 1 Zombies map set in the Khe-Sanh combat base in Vietnam, rumored to be codenamed Firebase Z. There are also these two devil-like creatures seen on the graffiti on Die Maschine, and yeah, I'm sure we're going to see these Elder Gods as a boss in future DLC. It is worth noting that in the old Aether storyline before the universe was rebooted on Tag der Toten, the Elder Gods and Overlords were the giant Apothicons. However, the duality was resolved on Tag der Toten and the Apothicons and Keepers no longer exist as they form together or back together as one. I see a lot of confusion in the community with people still thinking that these are Apothicons and that the Apothicons still exist within the Dark Aether. However, they do not. But it is worth noting that the Apothicons were similarly corrupted by the Dark Aether after eons, so it is likely that the outcome of corruption in the Dark Aether after a long time period could cause some creatures to resemble that of Apothicons slash Keepers due to them corrupting in a similar way. For example, we see this octopus eye-like creature on the plane wing in the graffiti, and I think this eye is in fact based off of Kaega, which is in fact an Elder God within the Cthulhu mythos by H.P. Lovecraft. Obviously, the Apothicons were based off of the Cthulhu mythos, and it seems like a lot of the creatures in this new rebooted universe in the Dark Aether similarly are based off of the Cthulhu mythos. The Elder Gods are also known as the Great Old Ones in the Cthulhu mythos, so yeah, there's definitely different types of these Elder Gods, and I think we see multiple in the graffiti. We've only gotten the chance to see one type on Die Maschine, and we also see that the Plague Hounds resemble the Keepers Keepers/Apothecans. After all, the Keepers/Apothecans reformed and were then sent into the Dark Aether, like I just said, so there will be some elements left over from them, as everything in the Dark Aether is starting to deform, mutate, and merge together, as we see the Wonder Fizz has merged with Speedcola and Juggernog. So Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man have reformed to the first one on Tag de Toten. Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man no longer exist, but the first one was sent into the Dark Aether with everything else from the old universe. So it too has started to corrupt over the years of being within the Dark Aether. We see from the writing on the staircase of Nak'Dorantoten, it reads the accursed one will rise again. So yeah, we are sure that the first one is no longer the first one, as it too has started to corrupt. I wonder if since different factions have started to form in the Dark Aether, as that intel just read, some Elder Gods are starting to impose their own will on the rest, then we could have different allegiances starting to form, different armies. We could see something similar to the Great War play out from the original Aether storyline, where obviously we had the once to be singular race split off into two factions, the Apothecans and the Keepers. Well, it seems like we are similarly seeing different factions starting to form and fight amongst themselves in the Dark Aether for power and control. And I'll talk about this more in a second, but we have even more Dark Aether intel. These are radios that came with Season 1, so I will play them for you right now, and then I will come back and talk about them.
It was supposed to be over quickly, in and out, but I was separated from the rest of my unit before our extraction. By the time I got to the exfil point, the equipment had been smashed to pieces. This radio is the only thing still functional. There may be no way back for me now, but I will do my duty till my last breath. Like most souls here, I have stayed away from others since I arrived. But over the last few months, I have seen ever larger groups congregating in the valleys. I hear their chants echo through the eternal night. I have not seen it, but I know it is there. I've seen the destruction left in its wake. Swaths of trees, snapped and broken as though they were twigs. It moves with purpose, but it is not a purpose I understand. I have not seen it. I hope I never do. I met an old comrade this morning. His unit were among the first of our soldiers to pass through to this world. I fear he has lost his mind, as he mostly rambled incoherently, speaking words I could not understand. From the little I could make out, he claims to have been here for many months. This is not possible. He deployed only 1 week before I did. I have heard its guttural roar echo through the forest like a wounded animal screaming out in pain. I fear they are becoming an army.
So from this we learn that time in the Dark Aether is not relative to the normal world. I guess it can go faster or slower, I'm not exactly sure. It is also worth noting that when we enter the Dark Aether on Die Maschine, we're not entering the proper Dark Aether, it's kind of like a reflection of reality. That's why we can only go in there temporarily. But anyways, the Dark Aether is basically like hell. Anyone trapped in there is damned to eternal damnation and suffering. We learn that the Overlords are extremely loud and, as I was saying earlier, are starting to form an army. I wonder if they are following the accursed one. Maybe some Overlords are following the accursed one and some aren't, and that is why they are fighting amongst themselves. As I just said, we could see similar factions start to form, similar to the Apothecans and the Keepers, but maybe we will see even more than just two factions. But obviously there's probably multiple different Elder Gods or Overlords in the Dark Aether, so there may be different factions for each different Overlord. But I'm assuming at the top of the hierarchy in the Dark Aether we have the accursed one, and then we have a bunch of the Overlords and Elder Gods below the accursed one, and some are following the accursed one, some are going against the accursed one, and as we were saying, maybe that could explain as to why they are fighting amongst each other. And we have the different people starting to chant and pray in groups, basically forming a cult for different creatures, these Elder Gods in the Dark Aether. These Overlords are extremely loud, you can hear them roaring in the Dark Aether, which I'm sure if you were trapped within there would be the scariest thing ever, and they completely decimate anything anything in their path, whether that be trees, it doesn't really matter. Since they are so large, they can just crash their way through anything. I wonder if since the Elder God gave us a max ammo, maybe there are some Elder Gods or some of these beings are actually friendly, whereas others are evil and working for the Accursed One, and are pawns to do its bidding. The reason as to why this Elder God helped us and gave us the max ammo on Die Maschine is because it's trying to go against the Accursed One. Maybe that is why you cannot actually get the max ammo if you try and go above ground to see it giving us the max ammo, because it doesn't want to be seen. It doesn't want us to know that it's helping us. Maybe it's not even helping us out of good, but maybe it's just trying to help us to go against the Accursed One or other factions in the Dark Aether. We see that the Elder Gods are made up of roots and tree branches. They are missing their heads. They are also made up of the deceased, dead souls trapped in the Dark Aether after eons of corrupting and merging. I wonder if some of the people in the Dark Aether sacrificed themselves to these Elder Gods since they are worshipping them and seeing them as gods. They might have just given their life to the Elder Gods to become a part of them themselves. It is likely that the Elder Gods are the creatures that have been within the Dark Aether the longest, and that is why they are more corrupted than anything else in the Dark Aether. The longer you stay in there, the more you corrupt. We have this Dark Aether intel about a woman called Barbara who has been trapped in the Dark Aether for quite some time, and she has started to grow an alligator-like face and long nails. Once again, very similar to the Apothecans and the Keepers. So this is the effect of being in the Dark Aether for quite some time, so eventually if Barbara stays in there for long enough, she will become unrecognizable and become some massive monster, an Elder God herself. Obviously on Tag the Totem, the Victis crew were sent into the Dark Aether, and they've been in there since the start of the rebooted universe, so have likely mutated more than anything else, and are likely monsters too now. Maybe even part of the Elder Gods themselves, and could even be used as pawns for the Accursed One to unleash its army and free it and all of its minions from the Dark Aether to wreak havoc on the world again and quote unquote rise again. And we could see Victis in a future DLC in terms of maybe a boss or something like that. But let me know all of your thoughts on all of this down below. I'm interested to see what other creepy creatures exist within the Dark Aether and uncover more of the secrets that lie within, because there are bound to be a load of other weird creatures that we have no idea what they are. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that different factions and different armies are forming in the Dark Aether, because we're not just going to have us just fighting against the zombies. No, that is not it. There will be different factions, and I guess maybe we will have to side with the lesser of two evils, similar to the Keepers and the Apothecans, where we kind of went with the Keepers, but in the end they were both corrupted. The Shadow Man was corrupted by the Dark Aether. Dr. Monty was corrupted by his own ambition to save his friend, the Shadow Man. And yeah, I think we are literally going to see the Great War break out again between these different factions in the Dark Aether, and I think that's what is going to play out in the future DLC. We probably won't see it itself, and it's probably going to be on less of a scale as we saw within the old Aether storyline. It's probably going to be less epic, but I think canonically this is essentially the repeat of the Great War. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.